So, after a year, maybe more, of trying to figure out my goals, working on preparation, what I wanted to do, what I actually wanted from my business, all these sorts of things, working out a whole load of things, making sure it was what I wanted to do, making sure that it's what my family were okay with me doing, all these sorts of things. 3 months into working for myself, and I get a massive dose of the self doubts. In this episode, I want to talk about that, how I got around that. You never know, something there might help you if you get the same sort of thing, because self doubts can come out of nowhere, and it certainly did with me. I'm not out in the van this week in this episode because, well, the weather is manky, the weather's horrible outside, but not in a nice way. It's not snow capped peaks or anything like that. It's dirty, rainy, horrible stuff. So just now, no, coming from here this week. Also, at the end of the video, I'm going to be announcing a few extra videos that will be coming out over the next couple of weeks, and more news of that at the end. Classic sort of thing, I think. More news of that at the end. Self doubt. Well, there I was. Everything was going okay. There's been some great growth in the channel, over 200 subscribers, which I think is pretty good for just me waffling away. The coaching stuff's going okay. Then a few wee things happened, and it really was difficult to say what it was, but it was just a few little things. And all of a sudden I realised that I was starting to question everything that I was doing. I wasn't completing projects. I was doing a lot more procrastination, and although I am, without doubt, a classic procrastinator, this was more than that. This wasn't just watching a couple of YouTube videos and then getting on with the stuff later on anyway. This was like not even starting to do any prep and what have you. And as I said, that's not why the video didn't come out last week. That was more life getting in the way of everything. But this was in general, and I started thinking, have I done the right thing? Have I put myself and my family at risk financially? Will anybody ever pay attention to me? Is there ever going to be any business? All sorts of things like that. And most of all, am I capable of even doing this? Now, looking back on it, I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but there's evidence there that I can do coaching, that, well, the subscribers, it's not millions, it's not thousands or whatever, but to get the subscribers, over 200 subscribers, it's pretty good, it shows that there's something there. I must be saying something that's worthwhile, at least to a few people. So the evidence was there that I could do it, but a lot of the time with self-doubt, you can't see that. There's a barrier there that stops you from actually seeing what everybody else can. And here's a funny thing. I don't know what other people are like, but certainly with myself, those close to me, and we often talk about getting support from those close to you, friends, family, and so on. Even though they would say, look, you're good, you can do this, you're really good at it, whatever they say, there's still a little doubt in the back of your head that says, yeah, they're only saying that because they love me. They're only saying that because they don't want me to feel hurt. Of course they're going to support me. They're my friends, they're my family. So they're not really looking at it as critically as they could. And that's what went through my head. No matter what people said to me, that's what was going through my head. Of course they're going to say that. They want me to not be hurt. They want me to be happy. So they're not going to be as critical as possibly they could be. So the only way to get around that was for bit by bit, I realised I had to look at it myself. And there's techniques that we can use. And I ended up using, physician heal thyself kind of thing, I use some of the tools that I talk to other people about. Things like mindfulness, things like journaling. And those two in particular really helped, because what I had to do was find the evidence funnily enough, not find evidence of that I was any good, but find the evidence that I was rubbish. And that was, I don't want to say, oh no, I wasn't rubbish, it was brilliant, something like that, but negative self belief there, just a wee example of it. But by using journaling, and there's a whole host of different ways of journaling, it's not just, dear diary, this has been my day. Journaling's a great way of bringing out your thoughts. Journaling's a great way of bringing the focus around what's actually happening, because that's one of the biggies of getting that focus on what is the problem. And once you've got that problem, you can then move on to what the solution. But in getting that, a lot of people think that a journal is like a diary and you write down lots and lots of stuff. But in actual fact, it can be anything. It can even be things like mind maps and what have you. Something that just brings together what you're thinking. Because sometimes at the start, writing something in long form, I don't know about you, but I have sometimes found it where it starts to sound like a script of a film, and I'll score bits out because that doesn't sound as dramatic as it should. And this is a personal journal. So using something like a mind map, especially at the beginning, to start finding and realizing that awareness, realizing the areas that are causing you problems. Something like mind maps are really good. At the same time as that, doing some kind of mindful meditation or mindful reflection. Being in the moment, not letting yourself be overwhelmed by lots of different thoughts. Well, what about that? What about this? There's a tiny wee thing that person said back in July. That might have been something that really what they meant was this. And if you keep that in your own head, then it just spirals, and it spirals out of control quite often, and logic stops being part of the conversation. And so practicing some kind of mindful meditation or mindful reflection is a really useful thing to do, and combining that with journaling really helped me. And I started getting the evidence. That actually the direction I was going in was okay, that I was capable of doing these things. I'm not saying I'm brilliant or anything like that, but it was about I am capable more than anything else. I am enough to do what I want to do. Again, whether success going forward is another matter, but having the confidence to go forward is what I need and what I needed at that point, and I think that is growing back. There was also a few things that some friends went and said as well, that weren't related. It wasn't, oh yeah, you can do this sort of stuff. But it made me reassess things. It made me, in YouTube they keep talking about niche. Yes, niche, not niche, niche. And in coaching they keep talking about the niche. But sometimes you get it, but it doesn't mean to say that it has to stay the same throughout. Your goal for a start doesn't have to stay the same throughout. Refining it, reviewing it and refining it is a very healthy thing to do. And that's kind of what I did as well. I refined the goal. One of the ways that I did that, I spoke about journaling. Another kind of journaling that I'm very fond of is reflective journaling. And in reflective journaling, you go through a process of figuring out what the problem was, everything that was involved in that problem, the people that were there, the time that it was, how you were feeling, and consider all of these things. Then, what do you need to do to make it better? What do you need to do to take things forward that is better for you? And then, if you like, at the end of it, creating an action for yourself to take forward. And by doing that, rather than some sort of long form essay saying, woe is me, or this is my future, or something like that, you're coming out of that exercise with something to do. And that helped me a great deal. So going forward, I am looking to do more of what I really enjoy doing, which is creating coaching and well-being material like YouTube videos, like some writing, doing more with my website, which I haven't done too much of. It's very coaching, it's very traditional coaching. I think there could be more resources on there. And doing what I also enjoy, which is training, building courses, if you like, maybe some in the year into next year, doing some more workshops and courses with people, something like that. Still a little bit undecided on exactly how that'll be, but moving forward like that, that's how I want to go. And obviously still with the coaching, both one-to-one and in groups. I really enjoy doing that as well. So in summing up, when I realised that it was self-doubt, and sometimes it can take a wee while to actually figure out exactly what it is. You know, there are lots of things that these things can be, but with me, it was definitely self-doubt. And in realising that, I then started looking for the evidence of what were the things that were allowing me to doubt myself. And by finding that evidence or lack of it, then starting to build a way forward. So by using journaling, such as mind mapping, to just put down the facts for myself, see that, reflect on it, and build a way forward, getting an action or a few actions to take forward. And you know something, it wasn't like, oh, here's the master plan for the next year. It really was, right, what can I do for the next day or two to start with? And then that allowed a bit of momentum to build up again. And that helped a great deal. Don't try to boil the ocean. Doing a little bit at a time has helped an awful lot. And so I'm not saying I won't doubt myself again. I'm going to doubt myself again. It's in my genes to doubt myself. So that's going to happen. But in this particular case, I think I've got over it, and now I'm building again, I'm moving forward again, and that's how I feel a bit more confident in the future. There's a few things that have happened that have knocked at, but I know a way forward now. Or at least I feel I do, and that's probably half the battle. I know that I'm that little bit more confident about the future than I was maybe a few weeks ago. So I said that I had a bit of news about some extra videos that I'm going to be putting out over the next wee while. For a good while now, a few people have been saying to me, can you record meditations? Because I've done meditations, I've done them live, I've done them in workshops and what have you. And I've said, can you record them, please? That'd be quite good. And I've decided to do that. This isn't an off-the-cuff thing. Literally, I've been promising people for about 2 or 3 years now, maybe longer, that I would record some meditation videos or audio stuff or what have you. And so I'm going to do that. I've even started. I've got a few of them recorded already. And what I'm going to do is release each one in the days between Christmas and New Year. They'll be there. They're not particularly seasonal. It's just about relaxing, about focusing on things, about whatever, you know, it's just a bit of a chill out thing as well. So I'm going to do that each day between Boxing Day and January the 1st. So there'll be 7 videos. Yeah, 7 videos. And if you like them, great. If they help you, great. If they don't, no worries. I tried. And hopefully people will enjoy them and get something from them. That's everything from this video today. Thank you very much as always. Sorry that it's not in the van. Sorry it's here, but as I said, the weather is mucky. I'm looking that way because there's a window. The weather is mucky. It really is. But thank you very much for listening. Hopefully you got something from it. And I'll see you next week. Thanks a lot. Bye.